Hello students, welcome to Anne's classes. Let's do speed, distance and time, the multiple choice type. Page number 151. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. Question 8. A and B, starting from the same place, move in the same direction with speeds 25 meter per second and 35 meter per second respectively. The distance between them in 20 seconds will be one of these answers. So here we have here A and B, they're starting from the same place. And this is very important, they're moving in the same direction. And the speed of A, this is the speed of A and this is the speed of B is given to us and the time is also given to us. Now we need to find the distance. Now to find distance, the formula is speed into time. This is the formula to find distance. Now since we have been given the speed of two quantities here, that is A and B, then in this case we have to find the relative speed. Okay, when there are two speeds given, we have to find the relative speed. Only one time is given. So let's start by saying A and B move in the same direction. Okay, so that is very important. They move in the same direction. So now what else is given to us? Speed of A is given to us, that is 25 meters per second. Then the speed of B is given to us, that is 35 meters per second. Now we have to find the relative speed of A in relation to B, or speed of B in relation to A. We have to find the relative speed. To find the relative speed, we have to find the difference in their speeds. Now, when they move in the same direction, you have to subtract their speeds. Okay, so here, since they're moving in the same direction, we are going to subtract their speed. So that means we're going to take 35 meters per second and subtract 25 meters per second from this. So now we have 35 minus 25 is 10, that is 10 meters per second. So now we have got their relative speed. Now we can find the distance. Distance between them in 20 seconds is the time given to us, and the formula is relative speed into time. So the relative speed is 10 meters per second. So we have that 10 meters per second. Multiply this by the time, which is 20 seconds. So 10 into 20 is 200. And we are looking at the distance, so the unit is meters. So what is our answer? Our answer is 200 meters, and that is option 1, 200 meters. Question 9. At two instances, the speeds of a car are 40 kilometers per hour and 50 kilometers per hour. The corresponding average speed is. Okay, so let's write down the speeds of the car at two instances. So first time it is 40 kilometers per hour and then it is 50 kilometers per hour. Now we are asked to find the average speed. So all we have to do here is average speed will be sum of the speeds. That means add up both the speeds and divide it by 2 because there are two instances here. So sum of the speeds will be 40 kilometers per hour plus 50 kilometers per hour and divide this by 2. 40 plus 50 is 90. 90 divided by 2 is 45. So our answer is 45 kilometers per hour. So this is our answer, and this is among the options, option 3, 45 kilometers per hour. Question 10. A certain distance is covered in 45 minutes at 20 meters per second. Now the first thing you need to notice is that this is in minutes. The time is in minutes and the speed is in meter per second. So we have to convert them so that the units are the same. Now let's continue. If the same distance, that means the distance that was there in the beginning, that is the certain distance, we are using the same distance this time, is covered in 30 minutes with x meters per second. So we don't know the speed, but we know the distance. It's the same distance as the beginning. And we know the time. Now we don't know the speed. We are asked to find the speed. So let's begin by saying in the first case, because here we're talking about one distance here and again another distance. So in the first case, the time, what is the time? 45 minutes. So this 45 minutes we are going to convert to seconds. We know that in 1 minute you have 60 seconds. So in 45 minutes you have 45 into 60, which is 2700 seconds. So we have found the time. Now speed is given to us, and that is 20 meters per second. So speed is given to us. Now we can find the distance covered, that is speed into time, and speed is 20 meters per second and the time is 2700 seconds. Let's multiply. So when you multiply, you just have to multiply 27 into 2 first, and that is 54. Then count how many zeros there are. So we have 1, 2, 3. So 3 zeros. So let's put it all together. So now we have found the distance, and distance is 54,000 meters. So now that we have found the distance, let's go back to the question. It says, if the same distance, that means this, you're going to use it in the second case also. So in the first case, we found the distance. We're going to use this distance in the second case. So let's start by saying second case, the time. What is the time? 30 minutes. So here also it is 30 minutes. We're going to convert it to seconds. So that will be 30 into 60. Now let's multiply only the whole numbers. 3 into 6. 6 3s are 18. Count the zeros. There are 2. So we have 1800 seconds. So we have found the time. And what else is given to us? The speed is what we need to find. X meters per second. This is what we are going to find. And the distance, we are going to use the same distance covered. And what is that distance? That is 54,000 meters. Now we are going to find the speed, and the formula for speed is distance by time. So the formula for speed is distance by time, and the distance is 54,000 meters and the speed time is 1800 seconds. Now let's cancel. We can cancel these two and these two zeros. We can also cancel 540 by 18 because 18 into 3 is 54. So 18 into 30. So now we have found the value of x. And what is x? X is the speed. So now we have found x is equal to 30 meters per second. So we have found the value of x, the speed. Now let's look at our options. Now here it is option 3, that is 30. So let's take our answer. Option 3, 30 meters per second is our answer. Question 11. A distance of 500 meters is to be covered in 40 seconds. So here this is the total distance. So distance of 500 meters means this is the total distance that has to be covered, and the time is total time. This is the total time. Now, if the first 200 meters is to be covered in 20 seconds, we have to find the average speed only for the remaining distance, not for the whole distance, the average speed for the remaining distance. So let's write down what's given to us. The total distance is given to us, which is 500 meters. We are also given the total time, which is 40 seconds. Now, the time taken to cover the first 200 meters is also given to us, that is 20 seconds to cover the first 200 meters. That means time taken to cover the remaining distance will be, now look at this, the total time is 40 seconds. To cover the first part is 20 seconds. To find the remaining, you just have to subtract these two. So that is 40 seconds minus 20 seconds. So the time taken to cover the remaining distance also we have 20 seconds. Now, what is the remaining distance? Now the total distance is 500. In that the first distance is already taken, which is 200 meters. So what is remaining? 300 meters. 500 minus 200 is 300. So 300 meters is the remaining distance. How did we get that? This is the total distance. And the first part is 200 meters. When you subtract, you get the remaining distance. Now we can find the average speed with the formula distance by time. So distance is the remaining distance. We're talking about the remaining distance. So 300 meters and the time is 20 seconds. Now let's cancel. So if we cancel this, now 30 and 2, 2 ones are 2, 2 into 15 is 30. So this is 15 by 1. So we've got 15 by 1, which is 15. That means the average speed for the remaining distance is 15 meters per second. So this is our answer. And which option is that? That is option 3, 15 meters per second. Question 12. A certain distance is to be covered in 4 hours at the speed of 50 kilometers per hour. If the speed is reduced by 10 kilometers per hour, the time taken to cover the same distance will now be increased by how many hours? That is what we are asked to find. So let the distance to be covered be x. We don't know what this distance is. So let that be x initially. Now the time is given to us 4 hours. We are also given the speed, that is 50 kilometers per hour. So with the initial time and the initial speed, let's find the distance. So the distance will be speed into time, and speed is 50 kilometers per hour. Time is 4 hours. So when you multiply 50 into 4, you get 200. 200 meters is the distance. Now it says same distance. So we're going to use 200 meters to find the time. This time, remember, the speed is reduced by 10 kilometers per hour. So what will the reduced speed be? Initially, it was 50 kilometers per hour. Now it is reduced by 10 kilometers, so minus 10 kilometers per hour. So reduced speed is 50 minus 10, which is 40. So this is the reduced speed, 40 kilometers per hour. Then the time, now we can find with the formula distance by speed. That is, distance is 200 meters. We're going to use this. So distance is 200 meters. And the reduced speed we just found is 40 kilometers per hour. So now we can find the time. So let's cancel whatever we can. Now, if you cancel here, you get 4 5s are 20. So the time here is 5 hours. So the question is, the time taken to cover the same distance will be increased by how many hours? They're not asking us how many hours it will take. They're asking us by how many hours will it be increased. So here in this case, so now we have to find the increase in time, that is 5 hours minus 4 hours. So 5 hours minus 4 hours, and that is equal to 1 hour. So the increase in time is 1 hour, and our option is option 4, 1 hour. Question 13. A car moves a distance of 200 kilometers in 2 hours and 680 kilometers in 3 hours. The average speed of the car is what we need to find out. So here we have in the first case. So this is the first case, and then we have the second case here. So in the first case, what is the distance? That means distance 1 is 200 kilometers. And what else is given to us? Time is given to us. So time 1 is 2 hours. Now, in the second case, distance is given to us, that is D2, which is 680 kilometers. We're also given the time, which is time 2, and that is 3 hours. Now we are asked to find the average speed. Now, how do we find the average speed? Average speed will be the total distance. That means D1 plus D2 divided by time. Speed is distance by time, isn't it? So total distance by total time, that is T1 plus T2. So D1 plus D2 is the total distance. T1 plus T2 is the total time. So this is how we find average speed. So and now let's substitute. D1 is 200 kilometers. D2 is 680 kilometers. Time 1 is 2 hours and time 2 is 3 hours. Now let's add it up. 200 plus 680 is 880. 2 plus 3 is 5. Now here we can cancel. 5 ones are 5 and here 5 ones are 5. 38. 5 sevens are 35. 3 is left 30. 5 sixes are 30. So what do we have here? 176. So we have found the average speed, that is 176 kilometers per hour. So this is our answer, And this is option 2, 176 kilometers per hour. Question 14. Two cars start from the same place in opposite directions with speeds 40 kilometers per hour and 50 kilometers per hour. The distance between the two cars in 3 hours is what we need to find out. So, two cars move the opposite direction is very important. And here we know the speed of the first car. The speed of the first car is 40 kilometers per hour given to us in the question. 40 kilometers per hour. The speed of the second car is 50 kilometers per hour. Now, what are we asked to find? The distance. Now, what is the formula to find distance? Distance is speed into time. Now, if you have only one speed, then we can just call it speed. Now, here we are given two. Speed of the first car and speed of the second car. So, we have to think of relative speed. Relative speed means the speed of one car in relation to the other car. So, we are going to find the relative speed. Now, how do we find the relative speed? When the cars are moving in opposite direction, to find the relative speed, we just have to add up their speeds, sum of their speeds. And this we add up only when they are moving in opposite directions. When they are moving in the same directions, we subtract their speeds. So here we're going to add up, that is 40 kilometers speed of the first car, 40 kilometers per hour, plus the speed of the second car, which is 50 kilometers per hour. And this is equal to 90 kilometers per hour. So now we have the time 3 hours, we have the speed 90 kilometers per hour. Now we can find the distance. Distance is relative speed into time, and the relative speed we just found out is 90 kilometers per hour and the time is 3 hours. So 90 into 3 is 270. And what have we found? The distance. That means this is 270 kilometers. This is our answer, and that is option 4. Option 4, 270 kilometers. Two cars start from the same place in the same direction with speeds 40 kilometers per hour and 50 kilometers per hour. The distance between the two cars is 3 hours. So this is just like the previous sum. The only difference is the same direction, which is very, very important. So let's write that two cars are moving in the same direction. The speed of the first car is 40 kilometers per hour. Now the speed of the second car is 50 kilometers per hour. So 50 kilometers per hour. Now whenever you have two speeds, you must find the relative speed, because here we are asked to find distance, and the formula for distance is speed into time. Now we have two speeds, so we have to find the relative speed. To find the relative speed, we find the difference in their speeds. That means we subtract their speeds. Why are we subtracting? Because they are moving in the same direction. In that case, we have to subtract. So put the bigger number first. So 50 kilometers per hour minus the second speed, that is 40 kilometers per hour. So the relative speed is 10 kilometers per hour. So now we have the time. The time is given to us 3 hours. We have the relative speed, which is 10 kilometers per hour. Now we can find the distance with the formula. Distance is relative speed into time. So the relative speed we just found is 10 kilometers per hour. The time we found is 3 hours. It's given to us. Time is 3 hours. So 10 into 3 is 30. So what are we asked to find? The distance. So the distance is 30 kilometers, and this is our answer. And this is option 1. 30 kilometers is the distance between them in 3 hours, because they are going in the same direction. With this, we come to the end of this exercise. Thank you, children.